What's going on, fight fans? I'm going to be giving my in-depth, detailed breakdown of the rewatching of the second fight, the rematch of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. I was broached. I was very heavily interested in making this video because, of course, there was a lot of discourse on social media. I've heard about a few people talking about Tyson Fury winning the fight, but I haven't really seen much. I've seen a few people here and there, but not a lot. The majority of people throughout the entire discourse of this fight said that they had Usyk winning this fight by about 2 rounds, or they had him winning comfortably, and they had Tyson Fury losing this fight easily 8-4, 7-5. And of course, I came out with my infamous video about how I believe that Tyson Fury got robbed, and I thought he won the fight 7-6, and there was no way Alexander Usyk won this fight. So, shout out first off to Turkey Al-Sheikh, Turkey Al-Dik. He came out and gave us a great Christmas present for all of us to be able to see, to rewatch this fight that literally just happened this past week. And he dropped that video about 4 or 5 days ago, so you could check it out on his YouTube channel if you want to be able to rewatch the fight again. Highly recommend to watch it if you're a huge boxing fan and love watching that fight. So I'm going to be going in depth, in detail. I've watched multiple rounds multiple times to get my full in-depth breakdown, round by round basis, and going to compare it to my scorecard of what I had to my first fight. And hopefully I don't, go over the same running points that I had in the first fight. But if I did, that means I actually seen the fight correctly in my eyes. All right, so we're going to start off with the first round. For the first round, I noticed that there was a lot of fencing, a lot of pawing with the lead hands. Of course, obviously, both lead hands being right in their face, with Tyson with his left hand and Usyk with his right hand. Fury tried to establish his reach advantage, most definitely, and get his jab pumping and his lead hand out there a lot. Usyk's footwork is just top notch, bro. It is just another level, and he made it an emphasis to focus on the body very early. A lot of straights, a lot of trying to feinting in up and down, but really did a lot of work to the body. Alexander Usyk did, and I went with Tyson Fury in that first round. I think he did the more effective work with that jab and with that lead hand. In my opinion, we go into the second round. The majority of the round really was Usyk just working upstairs and downstairs, working, trying to mix up and have the mind of Tyson Fury really, discombobulated and focus all over the place. And it was just tremendous, that work that he had. But he continued to put water in the basement for the majority of that round with straights to the body. Obviously he couldn't really land a lot of hooks, but that pudgy body of Tyson Fury was there to be landed on all night, and he absolutely did that with the straights to the body. But Tyson Fury, he tried to again, establish his reach, and his jab was just continuously out there, just pumping out there. And towards the end of the round, in that second round, I believe that he did land a couple of hard right hands, not tremendously hard, but definitely hard enough to be able to get some sort of reaction out of Alexander Usyk. Gave that round to Usyk, so it's 1-1 as of right now, of where I'm counting. In round three, obviously, if you can see from the first 2 rounds, the game plan is clear from these two guys. Fury wants his jab to dictate the pace and dictate the fight, obviously, and Usyk wants Fury's hands down, wants to condition him to just take shots to the body, and really just go downstairs and continuously have that work to the body with the body shots. Usyk in this round, he starts off headhunting a little bit more, in my opinion, and starts creeping in and barely missing with some overhand lefts. But Fury starts to mix things up with his lead hand variation, going upstairs and downstairs. Same thing with the right hand. Not much power on the shots, a lot more quickness and quick hands with this variation of his shots, but definitely started to mixing a lot more shots and stopped going to the head a lot with those jabs, a lot starting to go to the body a lot more. I gave that round to Tyson Fury. In round four, Alexander Usyk comes out heavy on the front foot, wants to press his pace, and get that fight that he wants to have. But Fury then negates it a little bit, and starts to settle into the round, but doesn't account for Usyk's footwork, in my opinion. and Usyk finally lands two overhand left shots after continuously conditioning again Tyson Fury to go to the body. But Fury, he takes the shots pretty well and he responds well in the last minute of the round, landing some hard shots himself, some hard right hands, some hard jabs, some hard hooks as well. Not many to be able to see. And not to steal away the round from Usyk, because I gave Usyk that round, that being round 4. But he still showed that, yes, he was still in there and in the fight. He wasn't just going to be able to go away after Usyk landed a couple hard lefts on his noggin. In round 5, in my opinion, so far, Fury's best round, absolutely. Lead hand supremacy by him. It was a lead uppercut that stunned Usyk, similar to what it was in the 6th round in their first fight. I don't know if it was a lead or a rear in the first fight, but in the second fight, it was a lead uppercut that stunned him. Not wobble him, have him all over the place, but it stunned him enough to the point where Usyk did acknowledge the shot. And after that, he just continues to have Usyk on his bike for the majority of that round. Fury just completely walks him down, landing hard shots to the body now and as well upstairs. And Usyk, he still show heart, man. Obviously it's something that you can't be able to take from him is Usyk's heart. He has, bar none, the best heart in boxing, in my opinion. And he still is determined. He still lands a couple of combinations, quick combination, not much on it, but just to show and throw shots out there. And he still is determined to land all those shots to the body. Gave that round to Fury, obviously. Round 6, Usyk has a great bounce back round, in my opinion. Instead of him walking back or laterally, using his movement how he did in the 5th round, he used his just otherworldly footwork, man. I mean, there's not a lot of superlatives I can give it to him, but that's one that I can. And his angles as well to get Fury kind of in a blender, and he just landed 3 overhand hard left shots, in my opinion, to seal the round for Alexander Usyk. Fury's jab was still there and still busy. He still had some good work, landing some rear uppercuts to the body here and there, but he was just, in my opinion, just getting outworked and just looking kind of bad. Even though, again, like I said, he did have his jab out there. He still was staying busy with it. But Alexander Usyk just, turns the tide his way, man. Those angles, just cutting in on him and just turning him was very, very great work by him. In round 7, Fury seemingly starts to fade, in my opinion, in this round, maybe taking the round off. His offensive output and production slowed down immensely compared to what he was putting out earlier in the fight in those other rounds. And not only that, but now he was working from the back foot. Now he was getting pressed back towards the ropes. Now Alexander Usyk started to pressure forward, put on this pace that he wanted to. Not much landed hard or much in this round between these two guys, but Alexander Usyk is commanding the ring, is having ring generalship, and he landed a couple of hard left-hand shots that weren't crazy, but he landed them and he took the round. In round 8, Usyk, he gets back to his moneymaker. That was he was making his money earlier in the fight, which was his straights to the body. Fury definitely had a better round than it was in his last few rounds. Trying to get his bearings back with him and returning the favor with a few body shots as well. But overall, Usyk, he just threw more and landed more. But Fury still looked like maybe he started to seem to get his second wind under him, maybe get some momentum, some wind sailing his way. But Usyk definitely still with the body work and the body shots definitely did what he needed to be able to do to take that round. In round 9, Fury, in my opinion, had a great bounce back round. Again, like I said, maybe getting his second wind, I don't know. But although he did move on his back foot and he started to started to work in more angle work with his footwork. He started turning Usyk a little bit more. He had some success on the front foot and starting, again, like I said, he started turning him. And then while he started turning him, started to get on the front foot, started to get Usyk a little bit more pressured. Now, instead of him just completely walking back and walking laterally along the ropes, he had a lot more success with the 1-2s, and he then started to land some sharp uppercuts to the body, hooks as well to the body. Usyk landed some still great body work. That's what his focus was and his game plan was the entire time of this fight. And then some good shots to the head as well towards the end of the round, maybe some eye catching, some oohs and ahs from the crowd. But for the majority of the round, Tyson Fury, in my opinion, had a great bounce back round, and he did a lot of better work than what Alexander Usyk did. As well as Tyson Fury having a little bit more clinch work, maybe leaning on Alexander Usyk a little bit, trying to drain that energy out from him. In round 10, momentum seems to swing Tyson Fury's way. He seemingly found home for that uppercut. He's landing it upstairs. He's landing it downstairs. He's having a lot of success with that. He had a lot of success with it in the first fight. He wasn't really throwing it as much earlier in this fight, but then he's starting it to really just let that fucking punch go. As soon as he's starting to let that punch go, he really started to see that, okay, I don't have to go away from that punch. He game planned it for so much, or I had to hide it away from him because he knows that I had so much success with that punch in the first fight that I have to go away from it. But then he implemented later into the fight, maybe something that he was, putting away as in secret of him not trying to be able to throw it. And he just emphasized more clinch work. He started to wear down on Usyk. Fury started to move on the front foot more, pressing his fight that he wanted to be able to have. Usyk, landing downstairs and really just trying to be able to have a few jabs, have a few eye-catching shots that were landing upstairs, making sure that Fury still knows that he's still in there. He's not really going to be able to go away from him. But overall, Tyson Fury seemingly takes the fight again his way. This fight was very ebb and flow. In round 11, Usyk, his heart, his determination, and his spirit, he just comes back firing on all cylinders. Then now starting to counter Tyson Fury, where now his shots are a little bit more laboring, where maybe he did get his second win for those 2 rounds and started to press on and move forward a little bit better. He started to wane a little bit more again, where now his shots a little bit more laboring, a little bit more arm punching, not really putting, oomph in his shots. And Usyk notices that, starting to counter him again really, really well, making him pair dearly, landing in combinations, mailing upstairs, tremendous shots that Alexander Usyk was landing with the right hook and the left hand, overhand left hand as well. But Fury took them well. All credit to him. But at the bell, I will say Tyson Fury did land a nasty, nasty uppercut that wobbled Alexander Usyk literally at the bell. Not enough to the point where it was like crazy, but you did see a little bit of stumble in Alexander Usyk when walking back to his corner. Moving on to round 12, which was the only 50-50 round that I had. I know when I initially had my first review of this fight, emotional review of that fight, I had a few 50-50 rounds, but in my opinion, after the rewatch, this was clearly the only 50-50 round that was there to be. And if you were keeping track of how I was scoring it, I have Alexander Usyk up as of right now 6-5 on my scorecard. But to go over this 12th round, ironically, it seemingly just flipped on his head. The entire story of this fight just flipped. Alexander Usyk seemingly starts to headhunt the entire round, landing straights and combinations with jabs, with lefts, with hooks, and really just eye-popping shots. Really starting to rock Tyson Fury, really not around the ring like how he was in the 9th round in the first fight, but he was rocking Tyson Fury definitely with the shots that he was landing. And while he was doing that and checking Fury's chin, Fury, he took the punishment well. I can't say that. Unlike, other fights that he's had as well, he's gone down or he's got super wobbled, especially, again, like the first fight that they had. He took it well. He took it on the chin, and he continued to be able to fight on. And Fury, on the other hand, he started to throw with bad intentions to the body. A lot of shoveling uppercuts, as well as one and twos to the head. He and as well some nice uppercuts to the head as well. Tremendous heart, man. Just valiant effort by both of these warriors, just showcasing their talent, and they believe them being the best. In my opinion, I liked how Tyson Fury went upstairs and downstairs more. The eye popping shots, the headshots, went definitely to Alexander Usyk's favor. I could see it go either way. I went with Tyson Fury because I believe that he landed more. Not only did he land more, but he did mix up and variant his attacks throughout the entirety of the round, where Alexander Usyk was headhunting a little bit more, but then he did land some great shots upstairs. And to overall give my overall synopsis of this fight, if you've been counting, I gave the fight in my opinion a draw, 6-6. But again, I had the 12th round as a 50-50. So if you gave that round to Alexander Usyk, then you have it 7-5. Compare that to my first card that I had. I had the fight at 7-6 with Tyson Fury winning that fight. I had the 12th round as a draw. This time, instead of me just going with a draw, I just went with a straight up winner, and not being a pussy, just giving it a winner to the round. But the only difference that I had on my first fight card compared to my second, which being rounds and who I believe who won each round, was the sixth round. The sixth round, I thought that Tyson Fury had a lot more success in that first round, but over the review and rewatching this fight again, shout out to Turkey Al Sheik, I gave that round to Alexander Usyk. So, I don't know, in my opinion, how anybody believes that Tyson Fury lost by 2 rounds. Um, I can't now, hindsight being 2020, having a rewatch, being able to get in depth, being able to, um, the and I said it in my first review, which now looking back at it is very idiotic, and but I mean, this is a channel for truth, and I champion truth, if you know what I mean. The only way that I could be able to score this fight is 7-5 Usyk or 6-6 draw. Mm, I can't be able to give any other rounds to Tyson Fury. And my scorecard rewatching this fight, maybe the second round, maybe the fourth round, where he had some good moments towards the latter half of those moments, and minutes in those rounds. But the majority of that work by Alexander Usyk was just better. So if there was going to be a winner, Alexander Usyk, in my opinion, was going to be the winner, not Tyson Fury. Sorry, guys, that agreed with me in my opinion. Uh, but clearly, no way Tyson Fury won only 4 rounds. I think he won 5 rounds for sure. Um, he won, in my opinion, 1-3-5, 9 and 10 for sure. Go Fury, 100%, no doubt about it. Um, but the 12th round is kind of just the one up in the air, in my opinion. But to give an overall synopsis of this fight, Alexander Usyk, his pressure, man, his footwork, his angles, and overall his body work was just excellent, man. And it paid dividends, and actually really did. Even when just assessing it round by round, dude, even when he's losing a round, he's just so resilient. He is the most resilient fighter, in my opinion, in the world as of right now, whether it be MMA or boxing. Fury, he tried to use his advantages greatly, especially his jab, his reach, and his lead hand to keep Usyk busy. Stop his rhythm, stop his movement and his angles at times. He used his weight advantage and the clinch game, but I didn't think that he did it enough. He should have done it a lot more to just wane on him, especially earlier in the fight. Both guys' chins are tremendous. While there weren't hellacious shots, especially like in the first fight that both of these guys land, there were timely blows that in other scenarios could have rocked other opponents. Clearly, especially Usyk and Fury's way, they landed some nasty, nasty work on each other, whether it be to the body or to the head. Uh, Fury, he did mix it up and went southpaw a few times. I thought it was very, very interesting, but overall ineffective. The pace, man, and the engine that Alexander Usyk has is unfucking real. And at times, that's really just what hindered Fury to win more rounds. Essentially, the fight, he couldn't be able to keep up with Alexander Usyk for the majority of the fight, but in moments, he did have a lot of success. It just goes off to the talent that Tyson Fury has. I mean, Fury's jab was commanding, and his uppercut was definitely a treat to see when he was throwing it and was landing it, because it did have a lot of effect on Alexander Usyk, but it didn't stop Usyk from landing whenever he really wanted to in this fight. But man, it was a hell of a fight, man. Honestly, a hell of a fight. The two best heavyweights in boxing as of right now, in my opinion. Fury did put up a hell of a fight, better than what he was in the first fight. But coming in with that size, being very overweight, coming in at 280 pounds, and the body work that Usyk did very early, combined with the pressure, again, the footwork, and everything in between, Usyk showed why he is who he is. He is undisputed. He is that guy. He is the best heavyweight in this generation as of right now. And the guy he struggles to even make heavyweight weight, which is saying something. Coming in at like 220 pounds, which is nothing compared to these giants, especially in that fight against Tyson Fury in the second fight. So yeah, guys, that's how I have it. Off the rewatch, off the review. What do you guys think? Comment your opinions. I've seen it everywhere, man. Everywhere has their opinion where unanimously everybody believes that Alexander Usyk won this fight. If there was a winner, again, I will repeat itself my again, even though I sound like a complete idiot saying it because in the first video that I make, I was outright disgusted and thought Tyson Fury got robbed. Um, if there was a winner, I would go with Alexander Usyk 7-5, not 8-4. Tyson Fury clearly won 5 rounds, but overall, I did give it a draw. So, yeah. Like this video if you obviously like this video. Fight fans, comment your opinions on what you thought of the fight. If you thought the fight was actually a lot more easier for Alexander Usyk, of him winning this fight, a lot more closer than a lot of other people had it as well, or you just outright had it still with Tyson Fury still winning the fight, how I believed, how I watched it on the first time, obviously of the fight night of it happening. And subscribe, man. Subscribe, because if you like this type of content, especially as a treat, a little treat after, a little gift after Christmas, I'm always here for you. Boxing fans, fight fans, I got you. With the consistency moving into the new year, still going to be pumping out this type of content for you guys. Thank you guys again for watching, and peace.